In today's video, we are going to be looking at the 2-week profitability of the Jasminer X4-1U. What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, we put in place our Jasminer X4-1U 19 days ago, and we decided to do things a little bit different than most content creators with the Jasminers. We put ours on Ethereum Classic, totally speculating and doing a fun little exercise to see what would the Jasminer look like post Ethereum merge, just to get some fun ideas on Ethereum Classic, because that's what's on everyone's mind is the Ethereum merge right now, and what do we do after the merge occurs. So we're on Ethereum Classic for 19 days. So in today's video, we're going to look at the profitability, break it down per day, then per month and per year. And then we're also going to look at what Ethereum's doing right now and kind of which one is the best choice at the current moment. So with that being said, I'm going to show you guys where we moved our Jasminer, because guess what? It's not in our mining room anymore. And I'll tell you why. Huge shout out to today's video sponsor, 𝐷𝐽𝐺 Mining. 𝐷𝐽𝐺 Mining is the leading distributor of one of the most efficient and powerful Ethereum miners on the market today. Go check them out at 𝐷𝐽𝐺mining.com. Okay, miners, so I wanted to go ahead and show you guys what we got going on in here and why we don't have our Jasminer in here currently right now. So it's going to be a little loud, so I'll try to stick out here the best we can. But as you can see, we moved a bunch of our mini ASICs actually up into a bedroom to warm those up. It's been a little chillier during the day and at night in Pennsylvania. And we used to have our Jasminer up here, and it's no longer up there anymore. And you might wonder why. Well, this isn't actually too bad. When I'm working down here, I can close the door. As I've talked about in previous videos, this is where I work actually, right here. Actually just finished the floor. What do you guys think? You like it? So anyways, this is where I work day to day. So right here, you know, you can hear the fans in there, and it's not terrible, right? But the Jasminer was so loud that like, it was just screaming that like, I could be talking to people in a meeting and you could hear it. It was just crazy how loud the Jasminer gets, especially when the Jasminer is warm. And what I found is with ASICs, the warmer the ASICs are, the louder they are, which is crazy. So let's go ahead and head upstairs here, and I'll show you guys exactly where it is. Okay, so we are out in my garage, and I'm gonna blur it out because it's so messy and dirty, and I don't want to dox myself too much. And I don't mean dirty, it's just we have so much stuff out here with what we're doing in our basement. All right, so let's go ahead and get rid of the blur in 3, 2, and 1. Okay guys, so we are out in my garage, and take a look. We have an Octominer out here. It's actually our 𝐕𝐢𝐝 Octominer, which is running 8 570s. And then here's our Jasminer. So actually I ran electrical right over here. See, our Jasminer right now is using about 305, we'll say, watts total, which is nice. The panel's right there, so that worked out nicely there. And then as you can see, it runs over into our PDU down here. And then I actually ran Ethernet from the basement all the way up here, which will actually work out nicely because this is short-term, temporary. I'd say the next 2 months or so, because once our shed is done, the shed will be on the other side of this wall. So I'm gonna take my Ethernet and just go right through the wall. Same thing with the electrical. We're gonna put the electrical right out there through the wall. But anyways, here's our Jasminer. And as you guys can hear, it's loud. The nice thing is the heat it's putting out right now isn't insane. So like, I don't have any ventilation or anything like that in my garage. It's just whatever, it's kind of coming in and out with the garage open and closed and all the cracks and everything. So it actually works out well. So right now I have the Octominer off, usually it's on, just because I wanted you guys to be able to hear how loud the Jasminer was by itself. But now you guys see why I keep the Jasminer out here versus trying to keep that sucker out in the garage. So while we're up here, let's go ahead and turn on our Jasminer. That's 100% fans. That's not normal fans on the Octominer. It'll come down. I have it set at 70% on that rig. All right, let's go downstairs back into the basement and let's talk about the profitability of the Jasminer X4-1U. Okay, miners, let's talk about profitability. At the end of the day, that's all we care about. How much are we yielding or how much are we profiting, and when will we meet our ROI? When can we go ahead and get our return on investment? That's a lot of what you guys as miners want to know about, and why there's a lot of doubt around the Jasminer based off of like, hey, it's going to take X amount of time to ROI because the Jasminers are not exactly cheap, especially this one, the Jasminer X4-1U. But thankfully, this can actually mine a multitude of different coins out there on the ETH hash algorithm. In our state today, we're talking about Ethereum Classic and Ethereum. So you can see here for our hash rate right now, we're about 672 mega hash. And when we were out in the garage, we looked at the watt meter, we were right about 300 to 310-ish. So let's go on the high side. Let's go 310 to be absolutely safe. If we jump over to Ethermine and take a look we went to a dedicated wallet for this experiment. And you can see we started about April 9th, actually, which lines up here because as you guys can see, every 2 days we were getting a payout. We started on April 9th and bam, April 11th was our first payout there of $27.58. And you can see that continuing through the rest of April. Now, if we jump over to our handy dandy what to mine, because this is the Bible for us miners, you can see here, we're going to update our hash rate to 672 and our power was 310. And we're going, now you got to make sure that you include your electricity cost. Unless you're mining for free and you don't have any electricity costs and you're living at home with mom and dad, or you have some type of special military arrangement, you're paying for electricity. So you need to keep that in mind. So with all that in mind, let's go ahead and hit calculate. Perfect. So here you can see that today, May 2nd, that we are doing $11.57 per day, which actually is pretty good. Now our cost saying 37 cents. Now that's on the high side. 672 mega hash is really, really high. And these miners fluctuate a ton, these ASIC miners versus like your GPU miners where they're pretty consistent. You know, you're not fluctuating that much. So here's what I want to show you. If I go back to my Jasminer and hit refresh, are we still at 672? Nope. We're down almost 100 mega hash down to 586. So what I want to do is I want to base our averages actually off of the average there for hash rate, which is 554. So let's go back over to what to mine. Let's change our hash rate to 554. So even though it said 672, it was bouncing around a ton. It does that with these. And we'll have our power at 310. Let's hit recalculate. Okay, now look at that. That's a huge difference, like $2 difference there. We're down to $9.47 per day on the Jasminer. Now, don't close the video quite yet. There's some good detail that we're going to go over here, especially when it comes down to Ethereum. So, keeping some of those metrics in mind, let's jump over to a spreadsheet that we put together here. On the left-hand side, you can see our start date was April 9th, 2022. We're mining Ethereum Classic and we're mining on Ethermine. So if you take a look here, you can see that we have payouts every 2 days. Bam, 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 bam. Now, there's a little bit of a discrepancy in there between line 7 and line 8. I didn't have it on entirely for a few days within there. So my numbers are going to be a tiny bit skewed because I did end up having to move it. Okay, so to account for what's missing here, because that's the big one here, like, wait, what? How do we properly do this if you miss some days? I went ahead and added a line on line 13 for missing, and we'll discuss that in a minute. So let's go through here. So every 2 days we're getting paid. So we got paid on the 11th. Remember, we started on the 9th. We got paid on the 13th, the 19th, 21st, 23rd, and 26th. You can see some of our averages there. Very, very close, 27.48 or 27.49. Now, on that wallet, there's an unpaid balance for when I finished of $27.41. So I don't want to forget about that. And then finally, under the missing line, we missed 2 days, or 2 pay periods almost. Think of this like paychecks. We missed 2 days because the unit was off because we were moving it. So I accounted for that on line 13. So if you look at our total, we mined for 19 days and we made $244.28. So if you want to average this, that's $12.86. Now that's without electricity costs, okay? This is just what hit our wallet. So if we bump over to the right-hand side, you guys can see here, let's create some averages here. So based off of these numbers, middle of April now, end of April actually, our average per day, $12.86. If we average that out per month on a 30-day month period, we're at $385.71. Now, if we scale that out over a year, now we all know mining does not stay the same. It has ebbs and flows, it has hills, and also has valleys. That puts us at $4,692.75. So we're far away still from $7,000 that we may have paid for our Jasminer X4-1U. So now let's talk about Ethereum, guys. So Ethereum, if we go over to what to mine right now, let's take a look. So if we take some of those same numbers, let's see, 554, and we take 310, and we adjust our cost is put in there for electric, and we hit calculate, that puts us at $20.04 per day after electricity. So let's look at before electricity, because that's what our other metric was kind of based off of, which is $20.41. So let's go back to our chart here. Let's update this to $20.41. Perfect. Now let's take a greater look. So per day, $20.41. Now these are projections, because right now on May 2nd, Ethereum has been all over the board over the last few days. So take this with a grain of salt. Please do your own math and your own metrics. Per month, that's $612.30. And per year, if Ethereum doesn't go to proof of stake and we're allowed to continue to mine it, not keeping into account the Ethereum bomb, which is going to continue to make things more difficult over the next few months, that puts us at $7,449.65. So we break even, which is great. So in theory, let's say we were able to mine Ethereum for the next year, 365 days. We break even on our Jasminer. After that, and then all of a sudden the merge hits. Then we were forced to go over to Ethereum Classic. You're still making, all speculation, guys. You can only make predictions based off the data you have now. Speculation, we're still making $12.86 per day, and we're still coming out to about $4,600 per year, to give you some idea. So I have gone ahead and started mining on Ethereum with our Jasminer. Now, granted, I did reboot it, more recently, but this still gives you some good metrics. So as you can see here, we moved our Jasminer X4-1U over to Ethereum, and you can see we're at $21.14 on estimate per day. So that lines up pretty closely to where we were here with those numbers. Now, that does not have electricity in mind. That's just what Ethermine is seeing on the pool. So that gives you some pretty decent ideas. You can also see current versus average. Average is actually 509. So we were basing our metrics off of 554 versus 509. So a lot of really good information to keep in mind. So do you buy a Jasminer? Do you not? That's really completely up to you guys. I'll let the metrics speak for themselves. In my case right now, the way Ethereum's going, I'm going to continue to mine Ethereum on my Jasminer. And I'm actually going to do Ethereum and have it converted out to Bitcoin on two miners. Because I'm stacking Bitcoin as much as I can right now. But I'll let you guys decide, Ethereum Classic or Ethereum with your Jasminer X4-1U. Well, guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap things up for our video on the 2-week profitability of our Jasminer X4-1U. I'll let you guys decide what direction you go. If the Ethereum merge continues to get pushed off, based off the metrics today, May 2nd, the Jasminer is profitable and you can go ahead and ROI within a year, but let's pause the brakes there. May 2nd, we have a lot going on over the last few days regarding everything going on with all of a sudden this huge pop in Ethereum and huge block values. So is today the best way to measure it? Maybe, maybe not. It really depends on the avenue that Ethereum takes over the next few months. I'm hoping and praying to the crypto mining gods that the Ethereum merge gets pushed off to maybe 2023. And we have a full 365 days to ROI the Jasminer. Based off of our early metrics, looking at it today, we can go ahead and see that we'd be over $7,000 a year off of this Jasminer, but we need to be realistic. We need to look at kind of where Ethereum has come and gone over the last few months right now, and will you actually totally ROI within 1 year? Probably not, but we can be hopeful, and we have some early metrics on Ethereum Classic if Ethereum Classic stays the way it is based off of our metrics today on May 2nd as to what your profitability would be, which is right under that $10 based off of your electric cost per day. So it kind of gives you an idea as to what things look like post Ethereum merge. Well, guys, that's going to wrap things up for today. I hope to bring you guys more Jasminer content over the next few months to kind of keep you guys up to date as to, is the Jasminer worth it or is it not? Other than that, guys, have a good one and take care.